Most business systems historically have been implemented by an ERP guy, and then some crazy web designer does the front end. That world's going away. If the web designer doesn't understand business process, you're never going to solve a problem like this. So we've got a whole new cadre of partners. We announced many of them when we announced Suite Commerce that are this next generation of business and design savvy in a single body. People like Fluid, SysIQ, whole bunch of folks in this area. Really excited to bring up on stage Dilip Kashu, who can talk a little bit about FMG, another large provider, great business vision in terms of this particular aspect of the change of business systems. So Dilip, come on up.
Almost fell.
Hey, you got the memo on the beard. Good, good. Excellent.
Still good-looking man. What can I say?
I should be in consulting maybe. So, well, welcome. Thanks for joining us. You came all the way from England on your way to Hong Kong, so really appreciate you making the time. Loved when I heard about what your company is doing, your strategy, and love being a part of it. So maybe you can talk a little bit about FMG and give us the story of your company.
So I run an agency called FMG and another one called Pod1. We do two things: omni-channel content and commerce. And in that, we do creative design, content creation, content transformation, and content production, and of course, B2B and B2C commerce.
Great. And so this is a really young, new company. Tell us a little bit about the founding of it.
So it's about 2 years old. We've had extraordinary growth because I think the formula has worked. We've focused on new channels, which have disrupted the market. We've grown to over 400 people. We're in 3 continents. And we've signed about 125 brands that are to die for.
So that's amazing. So 2.5 years, 400 employees, 125 of the world's greatest brands. Your new strategy must be onto something. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the trends you saw in the marketplace that you wanted to address that you don't feel are being addressed in the world today.
So when we started 2 years back, we saw over 2,000 agencies that helped brands with the old channels. This was publishing, broadcast, radio, point of sale. And we felt that there were 3 new channels that were disrupting the world, and that was social, mobile, and e-commerce. And we took an early punt on those channels. But it was not just that, it was also to connect the dots between the new channels and the old channels and bring a unified experience. And that worked.
So point one, myriad channels. I even see gaming up here, which I hadn't really thought of as a channel. I mean, all of these channels, so you're really taking this
We've taken all of these together, and the key thing in this slide that's displayed up there is that when companies put a presence in a channel, they amplify engagement through commerce, and when they do that, they create a silo. So you might make your mobile channel m-commerce enabled, and then you would have a silo in the mobile channel and another one in, let's say, the call center. And it is very difficult to put these silos to work together. So if you talk to a brand, and if I go to a website, I buy something and then I call the call center and they don't know that I've already bought a product and I am a customer, I think I would be pretty annoyed.
Yep.
So we advocate that you should have a single book of record, and that's why we turned to NetSuite.
Right. So and other big trends, second big trend that you saw?
The second big trend that we see is the emergence of what we call the elastic enterprise. This is manufacturers who want to sell to not just wholesalers and retailers, but also to consumers. So there's no such thing as B2B and B2C. The duality of these two worlds is being eroded, and it's being replaced by what we call B2B2C. And we believe that, again, a unified enterprise on a single system can do that.
Right. And finally, final trend that you're building
the final thing
around?
is, this slide is perhaps the most important, and the reason why we signed recently with NetSuite. Extra enterprise applications like CRM, procurement systems, and e-commerce are colliding with intra-enterprise applications like ERP, finance, HR, shop floor control, materials. They're coming together in one world, and this, to us, is the single biggest move. We built 85 systems in the last 2 years on just commerce. And each of these systems, we've had to integrate them to a OMS. And remember that when you do that, every integration is a point of failure. And if you don't want to take that risk in a big enterprise, and so we're very attracted to NetSuite. Obviously, I'm doing a plug here, but for you.
Well, thank you.
But
I'm glad we invited you today.
thank you. And I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here. It's a wonderful system because it's one single book of record, and it can do both intra and extra enterprise applications.
Great. Well, it's been great to be a part of your strategy. Amazing growth. You know, you have this vision for an omni-channel stack. We are completely. When I heard the story, I'm like, wow, this guy's doing my speech, but like a designer would. So this has been the person I've been looking for forever, because you are the next generation of systems development. As every company has this omni-channel problem, they've got to consolidate their back end and deal with it. So really honored to work with you on all of this. Thanks for including us in your business strategy, and thank you for making the time.
Thank you.